Hey there. Welcome to anybody just joining. I still have to set up. Oh, geez, that's not a good angle. I still have to set up, first of all, the microphone and then also our Instagram feed so that people can see us on there too. But I'm glad y'all are on here on YouTube. Hang on. What am I looking for? Tape. Yes. Just hang tight, man. We're doing a thing. I'm getting too chubby for this top. Okay. So we're learning a little bit here and there about camera angles and what looks cute and what doesn't. And so really quick, I do just want to set up the Instagram feed on my phone to make sure that everybody is good to go there. Hi, welcome. If you want, say hey in the chat and let me know what you're up to today. Right now, we're going to check on some dry aging pork and some bacon cures that are not doing well. We'll see. I don't know how well they're doing, to be honest. But yeah. I hope y'all can hear me okay. Ugh, I should probably just plug in that damn thing. No, whatever. I'm over it. I need to get this fucking thing going. Earlier today, I called out a white man on appropriating some words by Maya Angelou, and I am so nervous right now that he's gonna clap back and be like, blah, blah, what do you expect me to do? And so just FYI, that's where my brain is at right now. So I can't be 100% focused, so sorry about that. And then also something else that's going on is that a region of Washington in Northwest Washington is flooding a lot. And so that is also top of mind currently, and it's like really freaking me out. I don't know, like really freaking me out, but like I think about those farmers like all the time. Like those are the folks who enable our local food system. Like they're the ones who are like really doing the thing. And I've purchased like a lot of stuff from those guys. Like again, like I feel like a lot of them are really good stewards of the land. And like in terms of us wanting an alternative meat or food economy, like those are the people who are like making that shit possible, and their land is currently flooding in a lot of places. And so I'm just that's just it's top of mind is what I'm trying to say. And then here I am trying to set up my other camera. Oh, and I should put on some music because it is so awkward when there's no music on in here. Okay. Shall we listen to Taylor? Oh my gosh. I think someone else is using our Spotify. And by somebody else, I mean my partner, because it's actually his Spotify account. Damn cute. Oh my god. I need y'all to donate to my hair tie fund because I can't ever freaking find one. Anyway, yeah, so a minute ago I called out I mean, I feel like I didn't do it in like a really confrontational way, but I did definitely make clear that like a post that he made was appropriating Black women's words. That is so annoying that it's not playing. Anyway, I still have to set up stupid old Instagram. Yeah, but anyway, I thought if anybody was interested in just like hanging out for a hot minute while I set stuff up, can you see that? Okay, cool. I think you can. That's just gonna shake. Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. And then maybe I'll set up. I'll set up a nicer camera. Sorry, a nicer microphone over there on YouTube in the future. Oh, motherfuck! But my music doesn't want to work. This is not engaging content, and I apologize. Anyway, I just called out a dude on Instagram for pretty much plagiarizing Maya Angelou. Dude had reposted something from another, like a farmer or ranch hand. I don't know. It was a very like agrarian image of a white man, and they were quoting Maya Angelou, and nobody said anything. Oh, okay, well, he said thank you for sharing that with me. I will make a note for sure. Thank God. I was so nervous about saying anything to this man. And I'm so glad that it turns out that he wasn't going to be a dick about it. Okay, great. So that feels good. I don't feel so creeped out. Let's get some damn music on because it is like so eerie and weird in live streams when it's just quiet. Like, I don't think I'm like charismatic enough to carry that. Um, but I like super hate YouTube music. Come on, Spotify. And we pay for Spotify. Like, I definitely want this to be like good music. That's so annoying. Sorry, this is not engaging. Ugh, whatever. I was gonna try to put on music, but guess not. Sorry. Okay, be right back. Okay, so we're back. I just have to wash my hands because that's like, it's so important for when you are working with preservation projects, especially. Okay, cool. I wonder if I can put a note about like why we're going live. Oh, yes, I can. What the fuck? Oh my god. Checking on eating pork and bacon. Add details. And then let's go live. Yeah, I hope that's working out okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Hey, fam. So I'm just going to give a minute for people to hop on if they want, but also I'm really nervous because I was just checking on the meat briefly this morning and it does kind of smell a little bit in the fridge. And I'm really nervous because what I was noticing a couple weeks ago, what Friday, the last time I checked, was that the bacon like was not curing the way that I was expecting it to. Like I put a 3% cure. I put 3% of the weight um of the bacon in the of cure on the bacon. Sorry, that is like not coming out well. I don't know why I can't like articulate that, but the point is that you're supposed to weigh out 3% of the weight of each slab of pork in of curing stuff, like curing salt, and then add that to the bacon, but like it's not. Ugh, I'm very nervous about it. Maybe it should have been higher. But anyway, we're gonna check on the bacon last. That is definitely like, at least in my view, the most likely candidate for where this awful, like weird smell is coming from. So let's just start with the top set of dry aging stuff. Okay. I'm also, oh no, where are my gloves? I wanted to glove up really quick. Um, because truly it is important to like keep as much, I don't know, keep it as sterile as possible. And like your hands are just, oh, I just hulked out through this glove. That sucks. Um, and your hands just are totally vectors for bacteria and stuff. Hey gang, thanks for joining. Okay. Okay. Okay, so oof. Okay. So the first one I'm checking on right now is the bone-in ham roast with, and everybody still has their skin on, so there's that. Also, sorry for the camera shake. We'll have to figure out a different system in the future, but my tripod, I guess, is just very wobbly. Here, let me see. Oh God. Okay. I hope that's cool. I'm gonna. Well, I can't really guarantee that I can not make it shake, but whatever. Okay, so this dude is still smelling really good. There's still not a pellicle to it. Um, Yeah, and that is something like I'm a little bit. What's today? Day 10? Day 10, because today's the 16th. Yeah, so it's day 10 of the entire cure for these guys. I'm just gonna write down the date really quick. So today is 11, 16, 21. Slightly moist, no smell. I couldn't say, I wouldn't necessarily call this a pellicle either, but like you can kind of see there's some slight shininess to certain bits the of the meat's surface, and like that is like kind of worrisome to me, and it's totally concentrated like right by where there's a lot of stuff going on the surface in terms of it like not being totally smooth. So I am kind of nervous about that. It still doesn't smell, so that's good. Oh, and there is just like there's the tiniest bit of mold going on over here. Doesn't smell bad. I mean, there is a smell to it, but it's not like bad by any means, but there is the tiniest bit of mold. So I'm going to make sure to note that. Tiny bit of mold. It's also white mold, so which typically generally the advice that I get is that white mold is totally cool. Might even add like some camembert style flavors to the situation. But yeah, and then what is that? I think that was debris from before. And then something that is kind of worrying me, and like maybe this is natural if you guys know what's up, but this end of the bone here, which used to be totally white, is starting to like turn a little bit reddish. Like it's starting to, it looks like it's bruising. And so that is slightly worrisome. I'm going to put bruising on bone cap. Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. That's the one ham. And then now let's look at how our loin saddle is doing. The exterior is drying out pretty good. Same with, I mean, it's mostly okay. There is just a little bit of moisture pooling. It's still not smelling. So here, let me make sure to get these notes down. 11, 16, 21. And then just for anybody who like hasn't joined for one of these sessions before, what I've been doing, I got a whole pig in here about 2 weeks ago and broke it down. Geez, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, almost 2 weeks ago because it was on the 3rd that it came in. And these all got set up on that Friday. So they've all been aging for about 3 weeks. Sorry, 10 days. They've all been aging for about 10 days. I would love to take this to about 3 weeks. When I got the pig, it was actually only about a week out from harvest, so it was like really, really fresh. Normally, when you see pork in the grocery stores, it's like that pork. Well, depending on where you're buying your pork, usually pork is usually hangs out in a cooler for like 2 weeks, maybe 3, before they start breaking it down into. Are y'all okay? Oh my gosh, that's awful. Here, I guess my tripod didn't want to work with me just there, but that actually works okay, just like that. I think I'm just gonna pop a little tape on here real quick. Hang on. Okay, and hopefully that'll hold. Yeah, that's cool, right? Y'all can see. Okay. Maybe I'll scoot this closer. Okay. And then, yeah, so I'm streaming on both YouTube and Instagram. And so I have to admit it, I have to like manage both situations. So hang on, Bam. Hang on. That's gonna get off the top of my head. That's so annoying. Okay, no, it's fine. Okay, so anyway, I got this. They're about 10 days in. I butchered them down. I'm very like Tripod's been drinking. Haha, yeah, that's so true. She tired, y'all. And so, okay, you're seeing me do like a lot of smell tests on this meat because smell is going to be like the number one quickest indicator of like how things are doing in terms of like whether or not anybody's spoiling. And so luckily these two pieces are passing the smell check. They are fine. The skin side is like almost completely unchanged, although it is drying out. So you can kind of see the surface is like retracting just a little bit, which is looking pretty cool. But yeah, like here on the what are called the paddle bones here, this is where the tenderloin used to be. It does still look like a little bit moist. So I'm just gonna note that real quick. No smell. Paddle bones. What else, y'all? I guess I'm not. That's not mold. That's not mold. That might be mold. There is a little bit of a smell coming from right there. So I don't know if this is really gonna do the trick, gang, but I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt in the areas that are like being sketchy. I know it's not like hugely scientific, but I also just like don't want to waste like a fuck ton of pork. Like I'm definitely down for the learning process, but I'm not down to waste all this pork. Like we got this whole pig almost a week ago, and I would be so bummed if I ended up losing like a large portion of it just to like experimentation. Because we're just not Oprah like that. Like I'm not that Oprah wastes food, but like you know what I mean. Like I'm not a baller like that enough to be able to waste food and money. And also, this was like a whole freaking animal. Like I don't want to do it a disservice just because like I'm curious about something. Like there's a limit to which I will allow like my curiosity to go. The goal is to have good nutritious food around, not necessarily to have like the coolest experiments going on. Okay. So there's that. Sprinkled here. Let me note that again really quick. Salted petals. And actually, I might as well do this guy too, because yeah, truly, I'm just nervous. Especially because something is starting to smell in there, and I don't want to waste it. That would be like so much heartbreak to end up wasting this stuff. And the fact is that like I mean, I guess I do also have to like mitigate my own expectations because I've heard like other people discourage folks from dry aging pork specifically because it does tend to like spoil under this given the same conditions that you're say like dry aging beef. Pork is much more likely to spoil, a lot of that having to do with the like type of saturated fat that's in there. So if y'all were around for the my top sirloin trial, y'all know that like I didn't have to do much anything to it. I just kind of like put it in the fridge on top of a rack with salt, which I'm checking now. And then that was that guy went super well, but it also only aged for like 17 days. And so we're already at day 10. And like, there are things that I feel like we need to mitigate. And then now I'm just going to check on, okay, I'm checking the salt that's like underneath the bed of salt that's underneath. And it's just to make sure that everything's looking cool. And I also just wanted to check to see if there was any water pooling in there, which there's not apparently. So that's kind of cool. Okay. So that's these two. Salted puddles, smelling okay. I'm really excited. I feel like dry aged pork is super duper delicious and we don't typically get to see it very often. Oh yeah, I'm gonna salt that too. We don't really get to see it very often a lot of the times because again, pork has such a different oh, now it's drying out moisture. I super hope that works, y'all. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for these two. Oh, I will mark also that we salted it. Salted moisture. Okay. So let's do the other set or the next set. Okay. So all day we have 4 hams, one shoulder bit, which is this guy, and then one loin saddle, which y'all saw. And so now I'm going to check on our Boston butt, which is looking pretty good. And like, this is a testament to how small this freaking pig was, you guys, because this is like classically the Boston butt that you would get off of, any pig or a beef chuck. But like, it's so, look how tiny it is. So for those who aren't butchers or like for those butchers who work in retail settings, like this, I mean, for y'all who don't know, this is like the size of, like when you buy a pork butt in the store, it's a slice of this piece of meat. And this dude would like put up teeny tiny roasts. So yeah, he was small. So I'm doing the smell check on him. This guy's doing probably the best so far out of the 3 roasts that we've looked at. In terms of like forming a pellicle and drying. There's this one slash that I made in it that I'm like kind of nervous about it harboring bacteria in there, but it's okay so far. It's not like squishy the way that the other pieces were getting. And this dude has just like a tiny bit of dusting of what is probably white mold on the ends of it, on the end of the loin here, which is pretty cool. Again, typically white mold is not frowned upon. And what you're looking for is green or black mold. Like that's fucked up. Don't fuck with that. And if it pops up, then we'll see what we have to do with it. And then, so the loin end is really good looking. That's the side with the dusting of white mold. And then this side has just a little bit of like the moisture is still there. So I'm going to play it safe and give her a little kosher salt love as well. Because what I really want is the results of the enzymatic breakdown. That's what you're looking for when you're doing a dry age situation. As opposed to like salami or like other curing stuff, which is like, that's when you're manipulating the bacteria's environment. You're choosing which bacteria you want to be active by manipulating the environment, as opposed to the enzymes. And so that's why salt and other flavorings are like a thing in prosciutto, etc. So anyway, this guy's doing well. Let me just note some of the stuff on his card. 1621. Good pellicle starting. Light moisture chuck end. Salted wet spots. What else do we want to say about him? Good pellicle, wet spots. Oh, dusting of white mold. There was something else I wanted to say about it. So we put some salt on there. It's mostly pretty good. No smell. That's what it is. No smell. Okay. So there's that. And now we're going to check on, this is our second ham number 2. This guy is a boneless roast, which is looking quite a bit better. There's definitely mold on him. No smells. But yeah, I wish like live streaming could show like the teeny tiny bit of mold that's on here, but maybe I'll just take a photo and then post it later. For follow up, here we'll do portrait mode so it's like extra crisp. I love how my phone, when I try to use portrait mode for this kind of thing, it's always like, hey, I don't see a face here. And I'm like, just take the photo, damn it. Maybe portrait mode isn't the jam for this. Okay, anyway. Rantasi is asking, what does it smell like? It literally smells like nothing. Like, it does not smell like anything. Which is why I know that this guy is like good to go. There is like a weird smell coming out of the fridge right now that I think is from the bacon. But you know what rotten pork smells like. I'm sure you do. And like, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from the smell that's coming out, which is like so sad to me. But yeah, everything else is smelling pretty good so far. Like the 4 roasts that we checked on just now, doing really good. Just gonna note that real quick. 1621. No smell. Light mold on sirloin side. And you know what? This guy was like forming a really good pellicle. Doesn't smell like anything. And then out of all of them, like this one has the least amount of like moisture pooling on the top or any of the surfaces. So that's pretty good. I'm feeling really good about this guy. Light. Dusting here. Because again, my goal is to like have delicious, edible, nutritious pork, nourishing pork at the end of this, some food for me. And so I'm not going to play fast and loose with any like growth that's going on here. I'm going to make sure that like we mitigate and just are just playing on the safe side. Salted. Oops. Salted. What is that? That's probably that's the bottom round. Yeah. So this, as far as I can tell, is the top round side of the ham. And then this is the bottom round side. And the bottom round was a little bit shiny and looked a little bit moist. So that's why I'm popping a little salt on there. For safety. I'm very risk averse. So like I'm gonna play it safe. Okay. And then now we're gonna check on the tray, which is pretty good. There's not like an egregious amount. There's no moisture pooling in here, so that's nice. All the just the stuff from before, which is perfectly dry. I think we're okay there. Um, do you think it has to do with the location in the dry ager? Oh, what's drying best? Yeah, probably. So my dry ager is actually just like a refrigerator. It's an apartment sized fridge. Here, look. That bad boy is my dry ager. So I don't really have like humidity controls or like very specific temperature controls, and nor do I have any like dedicated air circulation control. In truth, I am going like kind of purposefully, really bare bones on this project because just to kind of see what a control is like what can you do with like the least amount of tools as possible. Like I'm very interested to see what kind of dry aging we can accomplish without having to invest in like really weird esoteric tools. So yeah, so it's just this guy, and then yeah, I'm sure it has something to do with like the location because all refrigerators have fans, right? Um, but this guy, one of the things that I do want to invest in is racks for or sorry, shelves for in there that are like racks, like wire racks. Because what's going on in there right now is the shelves are all like glass, like they're solid. And so, like, there's not really a good opportunity for air to circulate in there naturally, or at all, I suppose. And so, uh, yeah, that's definitely a thing. So, I think the first thing I want to invest in is that. Um, because that's also something that I've seen in other refrigerators. Like our actual home refrigerator has shelves on it that are wire racks and not just like a solid pane of glass. And so like I know it exists. And that's like a pretty like easy thing for a home refrigerator to have. So yeah, I don't know, maybe someday that'll be like the next investment. But so far we're just gonna go with our first set of like dry aging stuff. We're just gonna try to see what we can accomplish with nothing else. Okay, so this is ham. Ham number 3 is a bone in, is the other bone in roast. And he's doing pretty good. Yeah. Mm, there is some there is a little bit of pellicle forming on like the more raggedy edges. And then the smooth surface is a little bit sticky, but that's okay. It's not smelling like anything. And then the other end, you know what? Let's see. Let's try to not salt these two. How about that for like science? Because these guys are doing pretty good. I was about to say that there is light molding happening, but there's not actually. Like this guy does not have mold on him. Okay, and I gave this department a really big whiff because this is where the knee joint is, and the knee joint has a lot of synovial fluid in it, which is the stuff that lubricates your joints, like it lubricates their joints, but that's also a huge, like a big pocket of moisture in there, and that's exactly what bacteria wants to like be colonizing. um, and that's exactly what we don't want to be happening. So I am going to keep like a really close eye on that, but it's looking pretty good still. Yeah, and it doesn't smell bad. Wait, hang on. Let me just take like an actual. Yeah, it doesn't smell like anything. Still good. The exterior, I'm so glad that these are skin on because like that's so much less worry for me. But I guess it's also a point where it won't really allow moisture to release. I don't know. Maybe skin on is not the way to go. Because I thought it was like cool that it would be like an automatic pellicle. Um, but this is something that I talked about with one of my farmer friends where I was buying a whole pig from her, and her butcher skins the pig because they use a mobile slaughter unit for their harvesting, and they don't, as opposed to a place with a scalder. Um, Amazing. Thank you, Alex. See you later. Have fun with that beef. Um, but yeah, and so this is something that my one of my favorite pig farmers, Katie, was telling me about, because she uses a mobile slaughter unit that can't scald and scrape. They have to skin the pigs when they harvest, and so um, we were discussing like, well, hey, how long? She was asking me like, how long do you want the pig to hang before you can get it? And I was like, can it be like 2 weeks? And she was like, no, she was like, "Yeah, we could do it probably, but what these guys are telling me is that it shouldn't hang for that long." And my main concern with like a shorter hanging period is that like when I break down pigs that are only like 1 week or like just a few days removed from harvest, like the muscles come apart like really, really easily. There's like a lot of water still in there, and so um yeah, like it's not a very pleasant situation to work in, and your roasts don't turn out very nice because the muscles will separate really easily. And so I really like a 3 week aged pig before I start breaking it down. Um, and so technically right now we're still within that like first 3 weeks of it getting harvested, right? Because it was a week out. Oh no, we're about to hit 3 weeks out tomorrow. That's what it was, because I received it when it was a week out from harvest, and then I've been aging it for almost 2 weeks now. So anyway, um, that's this guy looking really good. I'm hoping. Ooh, you know what else too? This bone is also like really, really red. This was white before, this little circle here, and that's something that you do want to pay attention to, because the bone is an opportunity for bacteria to live in it. Like the marrow in there is a place for bacteria to burrow into and live, even if all of the other factors are not hospitable to mold. Bacteria will burrow into that bone and like spoil your cure from the outside, and that's something that like prosciutto makers have to pay a lot of attention to. So I'm going to note that. Bone is bruising. Knee joint very wet. No mold. No smell. And I'm going to put a big asterisk next to this. No salt. I am very curious to see what each of these do with or without salt. And there is just, oh God, one sec. There is a little moisture here, and let me just like get a good whiff of it without talking, because I just want to be able to concentrate on what it is that I'm smelling. It's good. It smells like pork, but very faintly so. And it doesn't smell like spoilage. And the funny thing about spoilage is that like you know right off the bat that it smells bad. And so like you can trust yourself. Like your brain is literally designed to understand what is spoiled and what is not. Um, so like use your senses to like check on that stuff. No salt. Okay. So let's do ham number 4. Ham number 4 is our second boneless roast. Trying to do our smell test all around. That's doing really good. Doesn't smell like anything. This guy is forming, you see how dark that is there? That's as opposed to like the other side. That is the best pellicle so far that I've seen out of any of these roasts. So I'm pretty stoked on that. 11, 15, 21. Good. Pellicle. No smell. There's a little bit of like moisture pooling. just the tiniest bit of moisture in there. So yeah, now I have this dilemma because I'm like, do I want to try to see how it goes? No, I'm gonna salt it because I am risk averse, and the worst thing that could happen is that it has to go bad. I've actually, oh my gosh, yeah. I don't want to tell you how much meat I've seen go bad in like in restaurants and shit, and it's like I don't want to be that. It's not worth it to me to maintain like the scientific integrity of this experiment. Um, if it truly does risk wasting this pork, like I really just want to make sure to honor this animal. Like it's fine to like fuck around or whatever, but and like test stuff out, but I don't want to waste anything. Okay, so there's that. Roast number 4, and I did salt it. Salted cavity and skin seam. It's all along the seams, or like most of the moisture is pulling around the seams. Okay. Hey there. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if y'all have any questions, feel free to like pop them in the chat or like comment on this if you're just watching the recording. If you're just watching the recording and you have a question, please do like pop your question in the chat or like leave a comment because I will eventually get to it. Oof, there's a hair on there. Huh. Interesting. There was a little moisture on the rack just here. I wonder what that was from. So it's from this side. It's probably from this kneecap. Ugh. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna salt the kneecap area because that is such like a high risk area. There's so much moisture in there still, and I really don't. Oof. Yeah, that is. Yeah, we're not fucking with that. We're gonna salt it. We're just gonna keep it safe. And if at the end of like a month, it turns out that it's still rotten there, at least I'll know that like I did everything I could to make sure that this stuff gets dry aged well. I think I will start putting the fan in there. Maybe not just yet, but like eventually. Also, one of the general bits of wisdom out there when it comes to dry aging is that like you leave the bones and the skin on and the fat on as much as possible, because we want to make sure what you want to do, because what happens is that the exterior dries out and then it takes on any like mold or like whatever else spoil. It's like the most like no matter what, that exterior is going to be unusable by the end. And so what you want to do is make sure that the meat on the inside is maximized. And so most of the time you want to leave bones and stuff on there. But this is a bone on the interior, and so we'll see if it's actually like useful in that way. So anyway, that's the end of our dry aging stuff. We'll see. Ugh. And now I have to check on the bacon, and I have a really like, I have a terrible feeling that it is in fact the bacon that is starting to smell. So, here we go. I'm gonna bite a bullet. This is gonna suck if to find it out. Anyway, here we go. Okay. So here we have 4 slabs of bacon working. They were not all from the belly, although let's see, 2 of these were belly slabs, and then one of them is the thin part of a picnic ham, which was I was really stoked on. Or sorry, 2. Yeah, did I say 2? 2 of them are from the picnic ham, which I'm pretty proud of because I feel like that's like a cool way to utilize picnic ham that doesn't normally get done. Oh my god, I'm so nervous, dude. Like I don't. It's the best and the worst is like using the smell test because like it's really accurate. Everybody has it unless like you can't, unless you physically cannot smell. But like you do put yourself at the risk of like having to smell some like really awful smells. So we're gonna do it. I'm just like hyping myself up for what is likely going to be a horrible experience. So hang on, hang on. Oh, he's okay. He's okay. Although I do feel like, yeah. So something that's made me really nervous about this is that normally when you cure bacon, the meat itself starts to get more firm, and like this is not firm at all. And it's, when did we start this? On the 8th? It's been 8 days today that we started this bacon, and it is not firm even in the slightest bit. The skin itself has like rehydrated, and that is like weird to me too. I don't know, you guys. Maybe it's because I put it in these bags, but that's also not the case. I've done so many equilibrium cures before, and like none of them have turned out this squishy. So anyway, there we go. This guy smells good too. Oh, thank God. Okay. Yeah, and they're still not squishy, like at all. It doesn't smell like anything. Thank God. Also, I would have been really sad to like lose bacon. I don't know if y'all could tell there was so much dread in like my face and voice a minute ago, but like now it's like it's okay. We're okay because that is not rotten, and we didn't just waste a bunch of belly. Okay, this one's the riskiest one because it's folded in on itself in there. It's not, it's like too big for this bag, but this was the only bag that I had at this point. Smells like nothing. Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so happy, you guys. I'm so relieved. That was so, like this morning I opened up the fridge and I could, a slight bit of like rotten pork smell came out and I was like, oh no, something's going terribly wrong, but it's okay. We're okay. Okay. This is okay too. You know what's weird? This one and the last one are starting to smell like popcorn. Does anybody ever get that with their like their bacon cures? There's not like there's any butter in here or any like popcorn or anything like that. It was just kosher salt, brown sugar, and like curing salt in here. But yeah, okay. Woo, thank God. I'm so relieved, you guys. I'm actually going to flip these guys over. They were skin side up before, and I'm going to flip them so that they're skin side down now. And again, it's been about 8 days. I think I'm going to roast them off tomorrow, maybe. What's tomorrow? Wednesday the 17th? Yeah, they're still good. So let's do that. Let's roast these off tomorrow. Normally with bacon, after curing them, you would smoke them. You would like cold smoke them to about 180 degrees to like render off the fat and just like cook it just slightly. And then after that, you would go into like your slicing and crisping mode. So these guys are still like pretty early on. So yeah, we'll either roast these off today or tomorrow. And then, yeah, probably tomorrow because I don't really feel like doing it today. I have to process the head cheese today. Oh, speaking of which, let's talk about head cheese. Okay. Because the last time we talked, the head cheese was still just like a head and a bunch of trotters and an H bone sprinkled with salt at the bottom of this fridge. But on Saturday night, I cooked that off, including and plus one of the picnic hams. And so I have this pan of head cheese working in my fridge, in the big fridge. Excuse me. That is, yeah, like halfway to being like official head cheese. So hang on, let me go get it real quick. Be right back. Oh, geez. Oh no, my phone from which we are casting to Instagram is getting a little bit low on battery, so this will be quick. So The last time you saw these goods, it was a pig head and some trotters and an H bone that I had sprinkled with salt. And so then on Saturday night, um, I rinsed all of that stuff off. Actually, I did like I put them in this pan and I rinsed like 8 to 9 times. Like I filled the pan, poured it off, like swished it around, poured it off about 8 to 9 times until the water didn't look extremely syrupy. Although it never really ran clear, which is fine. It's whatever. And so then after I'd rinsed it enough, I added some lemon zest and some dried herbs from my friend's farm and like some garlic too, just like some aromatics to like flavor it up a little bit. Um, about like this much water, like water about 3/4 of the way up, and then covered it in plastic wrap, and then did a little foil covering over the top, popped it into a cold oven, and then set the oven to 300 degrees, and I let it ride for about 5 hours. And then at the end of the 5 hours, the meat was super soft. Like we just poked at it. Actually, my partner and I, because it was Saturday night, we smoked a joint and like we're a little bit high. And at the end of the night, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go to bed. Let me take this out of the oven. And so we took it out of the oven, and he took some like gastro tongs, like the fancy plating tongs that chefs like love to pieces. We have a couple sets of those because we're both former pro cooks, and he just poked at the skull for like 10 minutes and got all of the meat off of it. And then I was like, wow, this is amazing. So we got all the bones out of there, and all the bits like the palate that we don't want to use and like the ear canal that we don't want to use, and like left the eyeball out. But then it cooled down, and this is what it looks like. This is how gelatinous that stock got, because this just came out of the fridge. Yeah, and it's very firm. Yeah, so I'm pretty stoked. This is gonna make really lovely head cheese. So what I have to do is heat it up just a little bit, like make sure to like go through all the meat and make sure that truly it is only stuff that I want to be eating. And then sometimes you have to boil down the stock a little bit more to get it to set up like this, but this is really effective gelatin. I'm so happy that this like turned out like this. So yeah, there's like an ear in here that I have to slice up for the head cheese, and then all like that really really good jowl meat is in here. The jowl and the cheek are in here. The tongue is hanging out in the fridge because I have to peel the membrane off of it. But like otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty stoked. This is so much gelatin in here, and that's been like sometimes it's a struggle to get stuff head cheese to stay together like this, but um yeah, this one worked out really well. I'm so excited. So actually, now that I have it out, I guess like what I really should go do is like go hang out in my kitchen and like really do the rest of the processing. And then I have to I actually have to find like molds for it because or I don't know. I guess I could just like get it set up in here in this hotel pan and then slice it into like loaves after that. I don't know. We'll see. TB to be determined, but I'll keep you guys updated. Um, Anyway, that's about it for me. I hope y'all are doing well. If you have any questions, please do leave them in the chat. And then just a reminder that Butchery 101 does have a Patreon. Yeah, if you feel like at all supporting this channel or the stuff that we work on or the work that we do, there are a handful of avenues through which to support us, one of which is Patreon, another one is GoFundMe. And then I also have private online butchery classes available for y'all. So if you wanted to learn how to like break down a chicken or a rabbit, we can totally do that together, and it'll be just like this. Like we'll just be like hanging out here in the office, and yeah, I would love to hang out with y'all. So if you're interested in any of those things, you can also use them as gifts because that's that kind of holiday coming up. But yeah, if you want to do so, please do find these links in my bio and hit me up. I'd love to hear from y'all. Anyway, thanks again so much. Hope you have a good one. Bye.
Oh, haha.